100 tries to get a great start.
Yeah, it's all about sneaking around the inside, Ricky. You see Villapoto.
Jake Weimer gets the whole shot on the 32. Here comes Alessi screaming around the outside.
Into second. Wow, goes around Villapoto on the outside. Alessi on this privateer back Suzuki. He is motivated for the $1 million.
He said in the press conference this week, in a very emotional response to a question I asked him about what it would mean to win this $1 million, how far would you go? Jeff, he got really choked up because he is starting that team, and he said, I need this money to continue my racing career.
Hey, I've been there before. I felt that emotion that he was laying down, but earlier today in this corner was where he went down really hard. He has regrouped. Mike Alessi, he is a tough dude, and he looks great on this Suzuki. I like what I'm seeing, and I like the reason that he's riding. It's just going to give him that extra motivation.
Here he comes up Monster Mountain. Oh, and Villapoto tries to cut inside at the top.
Now that was an awesome move. That is very, very hard to do what Ryan Villapoto just did. You don't have a lot of room. It's tight. The bike wants to stall out. That was skill right there.
Yeah, and that's a brave move because Villapoto, he doesn't even have a lap yet on this track. He doesn't know where all those slick spots are. He's going to find out right now. Just testing it out. See as they get on the brakes there coming down into that turn. Oh, he makes a little mistake too. Yeah. Drops back a bike link.
He made a little mistake out of there coming out of that turn, but I am impressed with Mike Alessi right now. Look at him. He wants to set him up right now. Oh, I thought he was going to sneak underneath. So he's trying.
Watch him squaring it up.
Jeff, you can just tell from the way these guys are approaching things just on the opening lap of this heat race. Everybody knows points are not at stake here. They are not worrying about anything but $1 million.
Well, yeah, this is a true all-star event. It's one night of racing, the 3 main events, a lot on the line, and even if you don't win all 3 main events, there's still a $250,000 purse, $100,000 going to the winner. So that's a lot of motivation if you're Mike Alessi starting a new team.
Look at Weimer coming off the pegs, and here comes Villapoto inside. Got him. That's for second.
That was a nice move right there.
Yeah, it was. Set him up perfect. Textbook block pass right there. Nothing dirty. Just a nice, sweet pass.
Yeah, and Villapoto really, of the top riders that we have seen in Heat 1 and now here in Heat 2, he's the first one that's taken those chances to get out of that main racing line, okay, and really try to stick it in there.
Yeah, you're
that was
right.
a nice move.
See how quick he caught up to his teammate there.
Oh, he's sharp right now. He is just so quick on the throttle. He knows how to, he's got this interesting technique. He just knows how to just weight the back of the bike.
Like this here. Look at this move. Perfectly executed. We have a new leader here in Heat 2. Villapoto goes to the lead. Weimer, Alessi, and Ben Townley on the 101 holds down 4th in the final transfer. Partridge, 1 spot out right now.
Villapoto just laid down the fastest lap of this heat. Weimer was at a 131. Villapoto was a 129.4. Wow. So right there with that lead pace. Now, Villapoto was the fastest rider in practice. I think the track is going to be faster now at the end of this heat as opposed to Heat 1.
That's Ben Townley right there on the 101 running in 4th. Boy, he's battled through a lot in his career.
Yeah, he sure has. You know, coming from a lot, you know, he had a spectacular year in 2007, and really since then it hasn't been what he had hoped it would have been, and you can see he's riding good here tonight and maybe trying to build up some confidence, get things going again.
Well, we saw the problems that Kevin Windham had on the track. How are things back in the pits, Aaron?
Looking a little frustrated right now, and as you see, that's Brian Kama, Kevin Windham's mechanic, working vigorously to get this bike in working order. But Kevin, you're on the sidelines. Take us through the frustrations and what you need to do to regroup now.
Well, this track's so difficult. I'm really disappointed about even if I come out of the semi with a decent finish, it's going to be poor gate position for the main event, and that's with a track like this, I think it's going to keep us all tight and hard to move through the pack. So right now we're trying to get this thing back going, bent some stuff up, having to make a shock change and stuff for semi qualification. So it's been a while since I've been in a semi, and hopefully we can get out there and have a good gate pick and give ourselves a shot at winning this race.
Las Vegas has been both kind and not so kind to Kevin Windham. We'll see how tonight ends up.
All right, Aaron, that was Ryan Clark on the 85 up on Monster Mountain. Looked like he was having some problems. No problems for Villapoto. He continues to lead here halfway through this second heat.
Well, look how he's getting the power to the ground. I mentioned that earlier. He's really good at shifting the weight when he needs to. Now, getting forward into turns to get the bite on the front tire, to get the bike turned around. Then he knows exactly when to switch his weight backwards to where he gets some bite on that rear tire and make that bike accelerate out of the turns. I mean, he just picks up the front wheel like 6 inches every turn.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You can see he takes his feet off the pegs a lot. And when he does that, see, he's starting to lose his balance. So when he loses his balance, instead of getting the bike upright, he just takes his leg off and he's able to keep the throttle on.
Battling here is Townley with Alessi, and that's Kyle Partridge coming into the screen as well. 3 riders now starting to battle over third, and if Alessi doesn't hang on here, he's not going to get the straight ticket to the main.
Hey, I tell you, the 76 here, Kyle Partridge, he's on a brand new ride here with Hart and Huntington Kawasaki. And he's local. He's a Vegas boy.
Yeah.
This is where he grew up, and he is feeling it on this slippery, hard desert dirt. He's been riding this stuff his whole life.
That's like riding in his house,
his backyard.
Yeah, I grew up racing his brother, Jason Partridge, and man, I remember when this kid was in diapers, and he's out here going for $1 million. It's cool to see, and he's riding really good. I mean, he's going to set. Looks like he could set Alessi up. I mean, he's all over him.
Yeah, I mean, hey, and what sort of bonus do you get from Kerry Hart in this team? They free tattoos? I mean, what's the deal? I mean, he's got so many sponsors on these things.
Well, you can have a good time in Vegas, that's for sure. And Kerry's putting quite a team together. He's going to have 4 riders competing for the Monster Energy Supercross Series this year, which is fantastic. Great to see that Hart and Huntington team getting bigger.
Very rocky in the back section, but it's still kind of loam on top too. So,
well, as you can see, Alessi doing everything he can to hang on with 4 to go to see if he can get a shot straight to the main. I talked about how earlier this week in the press conference he was so emotional about how much this money would mean to him and pushing his team forward. Take a listen.
A lot of people don't realize how hard it is, the riders. You know, even myself, I've been a factory rider for so long, and to have to pay out of my own pocket to go riding and to pay $8,000, $9,000 for a motorcycle, bone stock, with no parts, no motor work, no tie bolts, nothing. It puts me in a tough position, you know, because in my course of my career, I've obviously made money. I've done pretty well for myself. But I may have not done as well as, obviously, like Kevin. He's been racing a long time, or Ryan, you know, winning both championships this year. And for me, I didn't finish on the podium, not once this whole season. I didn't make any bonus money. So for me, to do good this weekend is really going to help me out a lot, and I definitely need it.
And the first step in that is to get into the mains.
Yep.
As quick as possible.
He's doing a good job. He does have some heat from Partridge, but he seemed to have pulled out a little breathing room here.
Yeah, I mean, you get that incentive right there. Like, wait a second.
Yep.
I need to get moving. I need to get going forward here. Possibly he found some better lines or just turned up the intensity a little bit.
Yeah, you don't transfer out of that first heat there. I mean, you're asking for problems. You know, it just is on a track like this, a short start like this, anything can happen. We heard what Kevin Windham just said.
Yeah, stand whoops here. Alessi, you see, he's just kind of bouncing through there, and Partridge just carried so much more momentum. Alessi's a little bit gun shy.
I was going to say, Jeff, that's exactly where he crashed. Do you think that's part of the situation that plays in the back of your mind?
Man, it is, but they've smoothed it out. But it just, gets me to thinking that maybe they don't quite have enough time on this Suzuki with the suspension setup, and they're just not keeping the back of that bike from bucking. And Ricky, when the seat hits you in the rear, what happens to the throttle?
The throttle goes the opposite way.
It gets turned forward.
When the thing huckabucks, the throttle goes up, not down.
And that's the thing. Hey, if you can keep the back of the bike down and it's just driving across, you just feel like you can hold the throttle wide open and you can just hit everything as hard as you want. But when that seat hits you, it's like, nah.
Well, Fro, you and I stood down on the track in the opening practices today, and when the bikes first came out, Mike Alessi was by far one of the most aggressive riders in that opening practice. He was really letting it rip. And after that crash, it seems like it maybe took a little bit of the edge off.
Well, let's take another look at it.
Yeah, let's show you that again. Here he comes into that sand section, but it was at the far end, Fro, where things went bad.
Yeah, he hits that soft, wet spot there, and he tries to keep the bike on the track, but that back tire was just coming up too high, and he hit the ground